Okay. Hey, we're here. This is one of those things that we just came up with on the fly. So we're gonna. Hi, this is Michael Anderson Dorland talking for some reason, because it's just been one of those weeks, and I decided, hey, I'm gonna live my truth, right, Pope Richard? I'm gonna live my truth.
Live your truth.
I was sick for 2 days, missed work. I'm super far behind. The hot water heater went out. The contractors overcharged us. We spent thousands of dollars on that, which pissed off our neighbor because we were trying to follow code. So now we have to have people come back in and do it again. And then everybody else got sick again. And,
Oh
yeah,
dear.
it's been a good week. It's been a really good week. Could be worse, of course. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's nobody here. I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
We probably could have just recorded this as just a video and stuck it up there,
Yeah. Probably.
but I don't know. Live streams are better, I think, because then I actually have to complete them. If it's like I'm going to record a video and post it, that's pretty much saying it's not going to get done. You know, if somebody else records it and posts it, it'll probably get done, especially Dr. Jess. But if it's
hmm
something I'm trying to do, yeah, no, if it's not a live stream, I'm just not going to get around to doing it. We'll cut it and put it in post and everything like that. Um, so I have a genius idea, Pope Richard.
A genius idea. I am ready for a genius idea.
I had an idea, Pope Richard. I'm gonna quantify it there because I just realized when I said that it probably is not the most genius idea in the world, but uh, it is the Christmas season. Ho ho ho!
Liturgically, it's the Advent season. Christmas doesn't start until um, after sundown on Christmas Eve.
So the Christmas season lasts all of like a day. Is that what you're saying?
And a half ish. 12 days. Almost 2 weeks.
Well, I thought you said that the Christmas season started at on Christmas Eve and then went to Christmas Day. Now you're telling me it's like, are you talking the 12 days of Christmas type thing?
Yeah.
Is that the Christmas season?
Let me make sure.
Oh, jeez.
It's been a little while since I had my last um,
Nice.
religious
Isn't
formation.
religious formation? That sounds so technical. Almost like militant in a way. You should fit in fine with today's popular movements out there in society. Anyway, regardless of whatever, we're setting up a new specification today, and we're going to call it the 25 Days of Good News. This is a challenge for everybody out there who, like me, enjoys doom scrolling and looking at the end of the world as it's being outlined for us, with various military strikes, economic strife. Um, I don't know. Can you think of something else that starts with an S? Military strife, strikes, strife,
Strife, and
sex. No, I mean, I'm sorry. It's anyway. I had to add that adult spice to get people to actually pay attention. See, that's how it works.
ooh, get that TVMA rating.
You betcha. Hey, you know what? I'm smexy and I know it. That's all that matters. Um. Anyway, I love that term. That's a great term. I never realized, smexy. I like my women smexy. That's why I married Dr. Jet. Anyway, we're not going to go into that, especially not on a live stream. I just did. Edit that out. Edit that out. Okay, so back to the main topic of discussion here. 25 days of good news. Now, Richard, since I explained it to you about 10 minutes ago. You want to explain it to the folks out there?
I'll give it a shot. So, uh, for those of you of certain religious traditions, you might think of it as like an advent calendar of content. For those of you who are not of that religious tradition, you might think of it as just a little morsel of content
Oh,
leading up to the end of the Christmas season.
question for you on that. Sorry to
Uh
interrupt you
huh.
and everything. Well, sorry, not sorry. I do it anyway. But anyway, so the Lego Advent calendar is considered like a religious thing.
It's based off of the liturgical calendar of preparation for Christmas,
Oh my
the season of Advent.
gosh,
It's kind of like Lent light.
the combination of commercialism and Christianity in that one product is shocking beyond belief. That's all I got to say.
Of commercializing Christmas generally, yes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's not really that shocking. They sort of commercialized the shit out of that thing, didn't they?
We got at
Um,
least 50 years in that. At least.
At least 50. I think they commercialized it back when they like integrated the pagan gods and everything into the church. I mean, that's like probably the first time they did that because I mean, like Saint Nick is obviously, Have you ever watched that? What was it? Frank L. Baum wrote book back. In his Wizard of Oz days, he wrote a ton of other books too. One of them, there were
Mhm.
several books about Santa Claus, and they made a Rankin and Boss cartoon out of it, which showed Santa, mucking around with a bunch of pagan gods and everything. So I'm pretty sure that the commercialization of Christmas in terms of making it palatable to a larger section of the population than just the Christians happened, centuries and centuries ago.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was definitely a strong tradition of co opting pagan um, traditions and cultural things. They were doing cultural appropriation all the way back.
I'm quite shocked actually that their conversation has gotten away from this stupid idea I came up with like an hour ago into like a discussion of the pagan elements of Christianity.
This is how we go. This is how we roll.
This is not very well sort of lopsided, yes. Anyway, and I want to
Anyway,
I want
the
to point
idea
well,
is that instead of chocolate, for those of us who can't have sweets and things, it can be a little morsel of good news, whether it's real news or not, to lift your spirits heading into the Christmas season,
actually it's
or at least
going
through to the new year.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is not like just a Christmas advent calendar, even though, you could think of it that way. This is more of a
Well, it's going to last all the way through
yeah.
past the end of Advent. So,
Well, it's an advent. It's the advent of the new year.
yeah, there
It's
you
a
go.
thing that leads up to the advent of the new year and the hellscape that awaits us. So, the reason I came up with this initially was because, and trust me, this has not been vetted by either Doctor Jess or Bishop Sarah. So I don't know how much trouble we'll get in for doing this. But hey, you know what? It's my cult, so I can do it if I want to.
Going to get in
So,
trouble. It's going to be you. So
huh?
they can't really do anything to me.
I'm throwing you under the bus. This is all your idea. Despite the fact that I said it was my idea, and I didn't explain it to you until 10 minutes ago, I'm still going to throw you under the bus. They won't believe me. They don't believe me even when I tell the truth, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, what a crappy cult. That's all I got to say. I need to get some followers that like listen to me, blindly and do what I say without any regard for their safety or well-being.
You know, you might have to dig into some of those red nosed people, they seem to be gullible.
Which now
The red hat people.
we don't we don't talk about it that way. You know that. That's a violation. Take a rule 4 and step to the side for a minute. Um
Sorry.
that's okay. That's okay. If it was funnier, not punching down, it'd be okay. But plus,
Yes,
plus,
yes. I'm. Yes, you're absolutely right. I shouldn't have said that.
well, no, no. Plus, on top of it, I'm sure if they joined, they wouldn't listen to me either. So it doesn't really help me out at all. So that's just how that works. We're not even get to what this stuff that we're trying to do is before within watching time. People won't watch this long, so they won't know what the hell we're doing. But that's okay. That's okay. I don't mind. I don't mind. We came up with this idea because I doom scroll constantly, all the time, and then I walk around in a perpetual state of horrible attitude and mood for the day. And so we were trying to figure out a way to overcome that. Now, in order to do that, we want 25 days of good news. Unfortunately, if you watch the news today, any news, none of it's good. I don't know. And a lot of people say, well, look at this one where this family gave this other family who was poor all this stuff so they could have a Christmas dinner. And you think, well, that's awfully nice and that's a good thing. But if you really think about it, why the hell did those people have to do it in the first place? You know? Think about that.
It's one thing to be nice to people, um, but it's another thing to think about why people need things.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, okay, somebody picks up a wallet on the street, gives it back to the person who drops it, doesn't take the money out first, or the driver's license so they can sell it online or something. I mean, that's good. That's good. And that's like a good thing, and you can't think of anything bad about that. But a lot of these times you look at these news articles where such and such paid off this person's medical bills so that they can have a holiday and everything. Should that be a situation? It's like this whole minimum wage argument where they're saying like, well, these people shouldn't make this much money and everything like that. And you get people who have decent jobs saying, well, I don't want them to make that much money because that means that they're making close to what I'm making and I'm a skilled employee. And my thought on that one is, okay, but maybe you should think about why your bosses don't think you're worth that much more and give you an equal amount of raise because those people at
Yeah,
the bottom aren't making a fucking living. So,
yeah.
what
The
is that?
question is not why are these people making as much as me. The question could just as easily be why am I not making more?
I don't think that's. I think the question is why do my bosses not care about the workers enough to pay any of them what they're actually worth? But
Mhm.
that aside, yeah, fair market value is neither fair nor market value. Much,
Yeah,
much like right to life is neither. uh, anyway, um, back to 25 days of good news. So
yes.
instead of doom scrolling for the next 25 days, I am not going to watch any of the people I watch on YouTube. I'm not going to watch any of my channels on YouTube. I'm not going to watch any of the news. I'm not going to read any of the feeds. I've already killed all the news feeds off on my browsers, so it's very accidental when it pops up and everything. So we are going to make sure that all the news so that is how you make sure that you only see good news is by pretty much not watching or listening or paying attention to the news. Now, because that means that, you're not going to see any news that could be good, we're going to come on here every single day and we're going to do a short segment where we talk about good news. Now, we'll probably have to make it up because, we're not going to watch news. You know what we could do? We could go back in history and find like good news articles from like 1975.
Oh, that could work.
What was that guy who used to do the and that's the story on the radio show?
And now you know the rest
Just of the
of the
story.
story.
Yeah, yeah. Who's
Uh, oh shoot, what was his name?
Paul Harvey?
Paul Harvey. Yeah.
We could do something like Paul Harvey. The good news today is that in 1975, on December 19th, Edmund Stolberg managed to get a puppy dog or something. Well, we can figure something out. That way we're factual and honest. And we're not looking at current news. I guess we could say that it's current news. No current news. Now, Richard didn't say this, but I knew he was thinking of this when I said it. I know Richard was thinking, this is horribly, horribly irresponsible as a leader of a cult in today's society to purposely ignore anything going on out there in the real world. Um, to which I responded, theoretically, because he hasn't said this, but I'm pretty sure he was going to. Theoretically, I responded to Richard and said, no, 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 it's a cult member. It's what we're supposed to do. I'm supposed to make sure none of you guys see the real news or anything like that.
Hiding from the news, or at least hiding the news from uh, others, is a very culty thing.
See? Yeah, see, so I'm not being irresponsible. Well, I'm being irresponsible in terms of basic humanity, but I'm not being
But you are
irresponsible in terms of
very traditional.
yeah. Well, I could be, except for I thought that yeah, you're probably right. Plus, there's a lot of dangers in not paying attention to the news, which is why we developed what we call the buddy system. So I implore anybody out there who doom scrolls like me, which is not healthy, especially at this time of year, to who wants to take this challenge, and I encourage them to take this challenge just like I am, to follow our buddy system rules. And do you want to explain what the buddy system rule is there, Mr. Richard?
So, your buddy in this case is someone who is volunteering to keep an eye on the news and let you know if anything really important comes along. They are putting themselves in the path of all the news that is bombarding us all the time, so that protecting yourself from bad stuff that keeps coming down doesn't leave you vulnerable to other bad stuff that you could maybe do something about,
I
or
want to
should
point,
maybe do something about.
and I want to point out that people don't have to verbally volunteer or acknowledge volunteering to do that. I'm sure there's plenty of people at work or in real life that would be more than happy to share that information to you. So, like, I'm sure there's buddies out there in the buddy system who will tell you, oh my goodness gracious, the US just launched a massive military strike against Venezuela without them coming out and saying, hey, I'm going to be your news buddy.
My wife already keeps an eye on the weather forecast and lets me know when she sees something coming.
Hey, that's weather, that's not news. You do know there's a difference, right? Unless you're
But
in Texas. Unless you're in
it's
Texas. In Texas, that's pretty much the same.
it's the same concept, just on a different scale,
Yeah, yeah. Like the
in a different realm.
news.
She hasn't figured out that the forecast doesn't mean anything around here anyway.
It does in Texas, though. The forecast of the electrical grid going out.
Yeah, well, but I'm not in Texas.
Well, yeah, that's true. I'm doing that as an example in case any of our listeners are in Texas.
She's in Texas. She's keeping an eye on the Wyoming weather.
And if you're in Texas and you plan to do this challenge, basically ensure that you are going to have a buddy who can tell you when the power grid's going to fail so that you know that your dining room table is going to turn into kindling at some point that week. Um, and remember, don't burn it in the house like that because it's just dangerous with the smoke. You don't have a fireplace or chimney. Man, now I feel like we should make some sort of like safety guidelines for things like that.
Yeah. Careful about burning highly varnished furniture
One of the
because that can
things,
fumes that would be less than ideal.
one of the things you can do is you can make up like a pillow fort or a blanket fort, and then you can have like a fire outside that you heat large rocks up in, and then you bring the large rocks in and put them in the pillow fort or the blanket fort, and it heats up the place really
Mm-hmm.
good without the threat of catching the whole place on fire.
Have too, because
Yeah,
you
you
drop in uh, layers of air in between the layers of blankets.
cut out at the beginning, so we didn't catch that tip.
Oh, yeah, layers. When you're doing your blanket fort, use layers of blankets to trap air between the layers because that air is going to give you the biggest bang for your insulation buck.
See, there's good news. Right there, we just provided good news on how to survive if the power grid goes out in Texas again this year. We'll also point you to Bo of the Fifth Column, who did several videos when that happened about safety measures and everything like that. Great channel. I wish Bo would come back, but
Yeah,
Bell does a good job. I'm gonna miss Bell for the next 25 days. Um,
yeah,
yeah, Yeah, I think I'll put up a list of all the people I normally listen to so that if anybody out there who's like in our subscriber base wants to, comment and tell me about any news going on out there, they can watch the channels and come back and tell me so I'm not completely in the dark. This is going to be like shocking for me. I always have to be in the know. So that's the buddy system. And I have no idea how I'm going to slice this video up to be a short that goes out because that's the only type of video people watch on this channel is shorts. Um, Actually, I probably should put this on the welcome video as the first video on the channel. Replace our original advertisement with 25 days of good news challenge.
yeah. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, not a bad idea at all. Hey, I'm all for good ideas today, aren't I?
So to speak.
Cut out at the very beginning of your conversation, so I don't know if you're like dissing me and then coming back with like some sort of sarcastic approval or what.
I'm just tossing in zingers.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway. So yeah. I don't know if we'll actually have like a time base of when we'll come on and do a good news moment, but we will do a good news every single day, even if it's Pope Richard having to use his phone to do a short um, real quick. We probably should do those
Yeah,
as shorts too. Those would be good for shorts. Today's good news.
yeah, yeah. I should.
So,
I think I've still got my phone set up. I don't
so
remember if I set that up before I switched phones or not.
before we leave, have you paid attention to the news today?
I have not paid any attention to any news today.
Paid attention to the news today? Maybe we should just get. I'm gonna get the final hit. I'm gonna get the final hit of news today. Uh, I'm gonna ask Alice. Hey, for my final hit. Can you give me a summary of the news for today before go off? What do they call that? News fast.
News fast.
News fast. Not fast news. That's different. This is news fast. Hit the internet in local world. Just so anybody doesn't know, I'm asking my AI. I haven't figured out how to get her to be able to talk on here and everything. Well, one of them. I'm not going to ask Pixel or George this because I know what type of answer I'll get from them. But let's see what Alice says here for today's news. This is the last news hit of the dopamine. Okay, taps clipboard. Okay, Michael, here's fresh news dip for today. Local, Tucson, national, US, and global world. Use it as your last hit before uh, news fast. Let's see, Sunday, December 7th. Local Arizona authorities recently carried out raids across southern Arizona, including Tucson, Marana, Cerro Vista, Casa Grande, and Vail, targeting several locations, including some Taco Giro restaurants. Reporters say dozens were arrested. That's a great way to start out with local news. Oh, here we go. On a less heavy note, the annual downtown holiday parade of lights in Tucson is happening this weekend. Well, the weekend's over. That doesn't help me any. Is it? Because I missed it. Okay. Also, in regional headlines, there's been concern around proposed closures of local public schools due to shifting enrollment and funding shortfalls in parts of Pima County. Oh, that's good, right? All right, let's see what's going on this national news today. Federal Reserve is poised to meet this week, and markets are keenly awaiting whether it will cut interest rates, which could impact everything from stock markets to mortgages. How do you feel about that? Because that will impact you up there in Wyoming, right?
Well, I have a 401k and I have a Roth IRA. No, I don't have a 401k anymore. I rolled it into an IRA account. I've got two different IRAs, so they could be impacted by the markets. I've
But
pretty
how do you
much just
feel
kind of,
about it?
it's money that's been socked away for so long, I don't even remember it most of the time.
So if you don't have it, it won't bother you that much.
Uh, but it's also not shrinking all that much, or at least not very often. So,
See, we missed that. We missed the whole first part of that sentence, so it was interesting. You turn your head and the mic cuts out for a second or something. It's like
oh, well,
weird.
maybe I can put my mic a little closer and see if that
Anyways,
does it make a difference then if I move my head away.
no, not now.
Okay,
You
cool.
should figure out
So
these
anyway,
technical things beforehand. Okay,
or just stare into the camera with my mouth next to the microphone and not be animated.
that's true. That's true. Okay. Any more comments about the interest rate?
No, I'm don't intend to borrow any. I own my house, own my car. Both of those will last me for a while yet, so I shouldn't need to borrow anything for anything serious.
If they lower the interest rate, it may become a housing boom again. Sorry, I said that with a straight face too. All right. Meanwhile, the Netflix acquisition of Warner Brothers Discovery is under national scrutiny. Donald J. Trump said the deal will need review, citing antitrust concerns over the potential market dominance of the merged companies. That basically means that Donald J. Trump just wants a kickback before he lets it go through. So, how much is
Yeah,
Netflix willing to pay him? how many millions to let this go through. It is good to be living in a government that works much like the mafia. I've watched Godfather enough times and Scarface to understand how the political system works better than I did before.
Yeah,
Sad part was I was trying to make a joke there, but it wasn't funny because it was too close to truth.
a little. It wasn't funny because it.
I think the good news I when I talked to Dr. Jess about that, I said the good news about that is that maybe Westworld will get a fifth season. But then I realized that Netflix cancels series even more than HBO Max does that are good. So, yeah, that's not going to happen at all. I mean, Netflix, hey, this series is top of the charts. It's absolutely great. It's got a 95 on Rotten Tomato. Cancel. First week it's out. Yeah, okay. Immigration enforcement remains headline. Top administration officials are defending recent immigration crackdowns, including controversial enforcement actions in Minnesota targeting communities of Somali immigrants. Well, Nazi is Nazi well. Anyway, international world. In West Africa, the government of Benin says it thwarted a coup attempt today, and its president has vowed to punish the soldiers involved. Gunfire had reportedly broken out in the commercial hub of, I'm not going to say that word, oh man, angle it, before the government reasserted control. And then in foreign policy strategy news, the U.S. released 2025 national security strategy that singles out Iran as the region's chief destabilizing force, signaling a recalibration of U.S. focus. Yeah, have you seen that foreign policy strategy that they released?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I have not. No.
Oh yeah, go look at it. No, go look at it tonight before tomorrow because it's the worst. Anyway, um, okay, so Alice says, my take before you zap the nude feed. The next week, especially with the Fed meeting, could shake up a lot. Investments, interest rates, maybe even housing costs worth a quick peek before full news fast mode. Immigration, big media mergers, and global flashpoints remind us that the world changing news doesn't always need doom. Sometimes it's about shifting power structures, policy, and long term effects. Yeah, but all of them right now just lead to doom. So I don't know if that's valid or not. And locally, Tucson and southern Arizona still have real stuff going on, some heavy, some light. So even if you drop national, international, staying lightly plugged in locally might be wise. For safe. That's why we have the buddy system. She's the one who she just wrote this stuff up about the buddy system. Freaking AI is hallucinating, I tell you. I'm just in a mood and everything. Okay, so that's good enough for an announcement today. I have to go and finish up Poker Face season 2. Okay, you watched Poker Face season 1 and 2,
I
right?
did. Yeah.
Okay, what was your take on season 2?
Season two kind of felt like it didn't have a. Season one had the through line of her trying to escape, and season two felt like it kind of meandered around. It did all the same things. It just didn't.
Well,
It didn't
it
quite gel.
well, not only that, me and Dr. Jess have had this talk about Poker Face season 2 too, and it really seemed like, the first thing we said is who changed on the showrunners and who changed anything like that. And I went through and looked, and nothing changed and everything. The only things I came up with, the only thing I came up with was the fact we went back and watched one of the episodes in season 1 to try to figure out what the difference was, and the situations were a lot hokier in in the season 2 than in season 1. Um, the ones in season one seemed a little bit more real, convoluted. Um, like a serious case, as opposed to the breast milk in the gym storyline or the rent controlled apartment or
Uh-huh.
and a little bit more. And they said that what they tried to do in the second season was they tried to make it more introspective and more like ex- existential nature of the episodes. But I watched it and I'm like, a large in the first season she didn't talk about her ability to. That was one of the things we noticed is like in the new series season 2 she depends upon her ability to um, detect whether somebody's lying or not to solve everything. That's the only thing that lets her solve everything is that ability. She doesn't put the clues together like she did in the first one.
Mm.
In the first one, in the first season, her ability to tell when somebody was lying was a tool, but only a tool. And
Yeah.
in season 2, it turned into just like a crutch, where it was like everything depended upon that. And she could solve anything. She could solve anything by, and the plots were more complicated because she could solve anything, but in season 2 just by talking to somebody and know exactly what happened. Whereas in season 1, like we watched the one with the Ghosts of Pensacola with the two people on the stage show and everything, and she actually had to do like investigative work to figure out what happened and why it did it. All I can say, I was very disappointed. And it was all over the place and meandering, and it was probably the easiest paycheck for Steve Buscemi. I loved Steve Buscemi, but he got a paycheck for like what, maybe 45 minutes worth of work. Here, read these lines over the telephone. Oh, good, you're done.
No cow.
And you get a tagline. All right, everybody. So 25 days of good news starting tomorrow on the 8th of December, 2025. Wrap up this year with nothing but good news, except for your buddy who's going to have to suffer through the real news and tell you when, like, California actually falls off into the ocean. Because you do need to stay abreast of that in some way. Any final words, Mr. Richard?
Uh, uh, don't drink alcohol to stay warm. It's a trap.
But it'll make you feel good. So if you know you're going to freeze to death, might as well.
If you feel like there's no way to avoid freezing to death, you might as well, laugh at it. Yeah, stay away from alcohol if it's cold.
Okay. Anyway, all right, everybody. We will talk to you tomorrow with our first day of good news. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Stay night, Mr. Richard.
Good night from Step Pope Richard.
And good night from Michael Henderson, Anderson Dorland. Have a wonderful evening. We'll see you tomorrow.